I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Jeff Charles, Sarah Calgill, Graham Noble, and Dave Patterson. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Well, folks, it seems Trump was right all along. He was being spied on. Special Counsel John Durham dropped a snippet of his findings on the now infamous Russia-Trump collusion scandal, and boy, was it ever a bombshell. Durham revealed that Clinton's campaign created the conspiracy theory to discredit Trump and alter the outcome of the 2016 election. And this is just the beginning. But have we heard a peep out of the media? Yeah, that would be a no on substance, but a yes in terms of beating up on the conservative media for covering the story. Durham hasn't even finished the investigation, and folks everywhere are asking the tough questions. Did the deep state really conspire to keep the information a secret during the 2020 election? And what all Trump supporters want to know, how many more heads are gonna roll? Talk to us, Graham Noble.
Well, I think, first of all, the catchphrase for 2022 has become, "We told you so." And I'm sure of all people, Mr. Trump is getting tired of either thinking or saying those words. But whether or not there'll be more indictments, I think there's no question about that, really. There's going to be more indictments without a doubt. And I say that because, first of all, there were so many people involved in this scandal. And at the moment, we've had just 3 indictments, and all 3 of those are really on the periphery of this, of the heart of the matter, if you like. And if there are no more indictments, then just from a point of view of optics, the American people are going to wonder what's going on. It will seem like if that's it, if Durham just wrapped it up now or next month or 2 months from now with no more indictments, it's going to be a bit like the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, where the middleman went down, or the middle woman in that case went down, so to speak. And yet none of the people who were at the heart of the matter were ever even touched. And of course, that's the way American politics goes. So I think more indictments are definitely on the cards. Obviously, I would not want to even begin to predict whose heads are going to roll next. And as for the overall scandal here, I think it's fair to say that this is indeed bigger than Watergate. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think we should downplay what happened at the Watergate Hotel all those years ago. But nevertheless, this is much bigger. And I think if nobody in any kind of, senior positions faces any consequences for this, then, well, what little credibility the political establishment has left in this country is gone forever.
Yeah, well, Jeff, Graham touches on something that I think is really significant, and that is, it does seem like Durham's just been hitting all the small fry.
Yeah, that's my takeaway too. And I do agree with Graham that this is bigger than Watergate. When I first heard about this, I channeled my inner Bernstein. I said, this is bigger than Watergate. They were spying on a sitting president. And on top of that, what was interesting about this is that they weren't necessarily trying to find evidence that Trump was connected to Russia. They were trying to concoct it. They were trying to create a bond between Trump and Russia so that an investigation would ensue.
Well, all right. Let me just interrupt for a minute. So you're saying there really was no break-in, like there was at Watergate. I mean, it was all about the break-in at the Democratic headquarters. There was no there. They created their own break-in, in other words, right?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like, they were trying to find any information that they can use to create a narrative that Trump had some shady dealings with Russia. And what the stuff that they were trying to use was it didn't really signify that Trump had done anything with Russia, but they were using that to create a narrative that would result in, the investigation and to discredit his presidency. I mean, for all their whining about Trump's claims about 2020, they did the exact same thing for years, saying that the election was illegitimate because of Russia. But I agree with Graham. There are going to be heads that roll because of this, but the prime players, they'll be fine.
Sarah, I hear strains of lock her up coming down the campaign trail. You're very politically astute. Do you think Hillary is protected from all the fallout?
Absolutely. She's not going anywhere. I've been involved in administrations that have had scandals that took out sitting elected officials. And, it's always the random middleman that's going to take, fall on his sword for the team. You might see a whole bunch of people we've never even heard of, and they will take the blame so that the kings and the queens can stay afloat. And that's just the way our political system works. It's horrible, it's wrong, but nobody ever pays for what they do if they're at the top of the heap. No one.
Dave, do you think we're making much ado about nothing, or does this make Watergate seem like a quaint little burglary?
Well, I think that Watergate pales in comparison. The only thing that was clear about Watergate was that there was a political element to Watergate that is not present with Durham, a Democrat who's taking this task on. Give you an example. Chuck Colson was convicted of conspiring to obstruct justice, not obstruction of justice, but conspiring to obstruct justice. A charge that was never on the books before and has not seen the light of day since. But Chuck Colson was a Republican, and you had the Democrats with the long knives out to get them.
Yeah, and he went to the POCA where thankfully he met Jesus. But anyway, I digress. Clinton did have a few things to say about it in Germany. And so she's not playing hide and seek, is she, Sarah?
No, no, she knows nobody's going to get her. She knows it. The beauty of it is it also is going to probably deflate her ego internally, and she may just stay put and keep her mouth shut for a while. I mean, I don't see her, planning a relaunch to run for president, not after this.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. I mean, this is kind of just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, but on the other hand, they'll figure out a way. I mean, in politics, perception is reality. It's not the other way around. And so in the political games we play, you will find that everybody will come to her defense. They will deflect. They will keep her afloat, but they can't at this point go, oh, maybe she'll run in 2024 and we'll get rid of Biden and Harris. They can't do that now. I think that ship has sailed.
Okay, Jeff, I stepped on you. You get the final word.
Oh, yeah. And I think what was also interesting to me about this, obviously, we knew that the media was going to ignore and try to spin it. But Tim Donner wrote an article for Liberty Nation talking about Durham's role in all this. And I didn't want to believe this. But after reading that article, it's hard for me to not believe it. Why did Durham file his report on the day before the Super Bowl on a Saturday, knowing that people weren't going to be paying much attention to it? It kind of lends credibility to the idea that he's part of the swamp as well. And that was very disappointing because I didn't really know that about him. But it's hard for me to ignore that. I think that we should also be paying attention to that as well.
Good point. Well, like it or not, the Durham investigation may put a stop to all this he said, she said, and we'll finally put some meat on the bone. We'll be closely watching this for you folks. Thanks, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, or on the mall. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, surf on over to libertynation.com. Sign up for our member zone, just $17.76 for the entire year. Special thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank DiOrio, and our executive producer, Sarah Calgill. I'm Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.